Zenit, I want you to talk us through the case that is in all the media houses at the moment, and that's of a girl who was kidnapped 17 years ago and who only recently has been identified by her biological family as their child. It's obviously a very tricky situation. She was kidnapped from her mother's arms practically in hospital and literally lived a stone's throw away. Yeah. Won't you talk to us about the Saartjie Baartman Centre's position on this issue?
I think it's a very, like you mentioned, it's a very tricky and sad situation. We want to rejoice and say we're happy for her to be back with her biological parents, or that she has been introduced to them. But we also have to think of the psychological effects that it would have on her. She grew up in a home for 17 years. She was socialized in a certain way. She got to meet family members, and she really started a life. She built a life, and now it's the chaos as to she can be happy and sad at the one time, exceptionally confused. And we also need to know that even though they were stone throw away, it is different environments that she grew up in, and that she will ultimately, if it's decided that, and whether she decides or not to go back, it's a new environment that she will have to get to know. So it will be a lot of confusion, a lot of questions, a lot of answers that she will need from both sides. And then also I think that we need to understand that she's still also very young. Even though she can make this decision, she is alone. In the sense of this happened to her, and then she met her biological sister, and then all of these things came about, and it's all afresh and it's all new. And I'm glad that they're keeping her out of harm's way, and that they are giving her psychological counseling.
Did I time that one well, Jules? I'm so sorry.
No problem. I just got the fried vegetable and I was like, oh, okay. How's it going, Beverly?
Brilliant.
Oh gosh. Okay. Inge, Jules, can I just go on to the next one?
Yeah, just wait for a good question.
Oh, my eyes watering.
A little bit, so you need to wait.
Jules, can you see it on camera?
Not anymore, yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sorry. Zenit, I want you to talk to us about the two women in this situation, because of course your organization caters for women and children. You have the one mother who had her baby stolen away from her 17 years ago, but the accused in this situation, despite the fact that she really committed a crime and did something absolutely terrible, was also a mother for 17 years. This is such a tricky situation.
No, it definitely is. By no means are we saying that what this woman has done is right, but we also need to look at the psychological factors that was at play 17 years ago that made her, go around and taking somebody else's child, practically, like you said, from her arms. But what we need to do is we need to understand that ultimately both moms in the situation is losing a child. But we need to look at how are both families affected, and then also let legal route go the legal way, because what she did ultimately was a crime, and we cannot discount that fact.
Won't you talk to us about the importance of privacy and relative anonymity when it comes to this situation? Obviously, some media houses have chosen to name the kidnapped girl and the accused. We've chosen not to do so. But what is your take on the situation? How important is it that this young woman, the 17-year-old girl, have a measure of privacy now and going forward?
Look, I think that her privacy would be exceptionally important, because to make this decision and to try to rationalize and understand what you're going through on your own is already difficult. Imagine if you have, so to hear the things that is being said about this family is going to be exceptionally difficult, and then to sympathize with a family that she doesn't know yet, it's going to be important for her to do so, but it's also going to be difficult because she grew up in a home, she had a family, she had extended family, she had siblings. So we need to understand that she needs the space, just so that she can make sense of this for herself, and then go for the psychological treatment that they are availing to her, because it's going to be exceptionally needed. There's going to be a myriad of things that she's going to be going through, and emotions that she'll have to work through.
Now, obviously, not many of us have come into contact with a situation like this one, but every day as South Africans, we deal with them. Our mothers or our aunts, our kids themselves who are going through issues and need support and need love. How do we best support the women and children in our lives who are going through any type of turmoil?
I think that it's always important to firstly believe them, and to believe their understanding of what is going through, because two people in the very same situation will have two different perspectives, and therefore they would feel differently about it. we also need to make sure that people understand that going for counseling is not a bad thing. It doesn't make you insane or crazy. It just means that you're in a situation and it's difficult to deal with and to make sense of it. So if you go for counseling, you have a sounding board with a counselor that can assist you through these difficulties. And sometimes it's just very, very strenuous on an individual to explain to their families what they're feeling. So an outside individual is easier, so that they don't feel that they're putting emotional strain on somebody else in their family.
Sina, just before you go, won't you just briefly tell us about the Saartjie Baartman Centre for Women and Children?
Okay, so the Saartjie Baartman Centre for Women and Children is an organization that caters for the needs of domestic violence, women that find themselves in domestic violence. So we got a legal project that will help them with protection orders and divorces. We have the children's program, which is mine, which will be catered to the internal and external clients that come. And then we have the intake program that looks holistically at all the needs of the women that comes to the centre.
How can we find you online?
Online, you can go to our website. It's the www.Saartjie Baartman Centre. And then also you can get us at Lower Kliffontein Road.